So welcome to Alignment-Based Yoga. My name is Linda Carr. Today you might like to have a blanket and a yoga strap, although certainly if you don't have these items you can still do the practice. The focus of today's practice is on centering and on balance and on finding calmness. And so I hope you enjoy the practice. So to start off, if you do have a blanket, use that to sit on. Otherwise, just sit on your mat. And cross your legs in Sukhasana, simple seated pose. And lean to one side and draw the buttock flesh back and away. And then lean to your other side and do the same thing. And take your hands to your outer knees and draw the knees closer in toward each other. In this pose, we're always trying to get the legs to cross mid-shin, if possible, if it's comfortable. And then bend your ankles and scoot your heels underneath your knees. And then allow your legs just to relax down, to relax open. Draw your low abs in and then lift the abdominals up toward your breastbone so that your spine finds its true height. And then soften your shoulders by relaxing them and allow them to drape down. And rest your hands on your legs. Your palms could be facing down or facing up. And in fact, you might want to try both and see which way feels more calming to you. And then one more thing, before we start breathing, lift the back of your skull up to find nice openness, nice length in your neck. And soften your face and please close your eyes. So allow your focus to come inward, even though there may be many things going on in your life right now. Our goal at the moment is to be in the present and to pay close attention to what we're doing right now. So notice your body breathing itself. And then imagine that you could breathe up the right side of your torso. So that, like every time you inhale, you bring the breath up through your torso, up through the right side. And then as you exhale, you take that breath, that energy down the right side. And let's stay with this, breathing up and down through the right side of the torso. So in yoga, we call the breath prana. So you're not only bringing air in and out, you're also moving your energy. And take one more breath along the right side of your torso. Now let's switch to your left side. So as you inhale, draw the breath up as if you could. So just imagine that breath, that energy drawing up, all the way up through the left side of your torso. And then as you exhale, release the breath, and then it flows down. Inhale to lift it. And exhale to allow it to release. And one more breath like that. And then when you're ready, let's imagine we could bring the breath right at the center of the body. Let's call that the central channel. So inhale the breath right up the center line. You might even think of it, the breath coming right up through your spine and out through the top of your head. And then as you exhale, everything flows back down to your mat. Take a couple more breaths like that. Allow yourself to find calmness and stillness here. And then when you are ready, return to your everyday breath and then slowly, gradually open your eyes and come back into your space. Good. Take your legs out to the front And then come on off of your blanket if you're using a blanket. Now, if you do have a strap, have that close by. And like I said, if you don't have a strap, that's okay too. So come on down to your back side. And bring your legs together here. And bring your inner heels together here. And flex your ankles and press your heels away from you. And you want your toes to be pointing straight up. And press the tops of your thighs, or the fronts of your thighs, right on down to the floor. And then as you inhale, lift your arms straight up, reach your fingertips up so you feel like you're starting to wake up your shoulders. Take another inhale. And then exhale, take your arms all the way back behind you. So you need enough space to straighten your arms out. So if you need to adjust where you are on your mat or where you are in your room, you can do that now. Your palms should face each other here. So if you're a shoulder person, let's say, this is not so hot for your shoulders, you can always bend your elbows out to the sides. Modify wherever you need to. So here, we're going to make ourselves into a huge shallow C shape. So keeping your legs together, gradually walk your legs and also your arms over to your left side. So you'll keep your sit bones on the floor, your pelvis will stay grounded, both shoulder blades will stay on the floor as you arc yourself open to a half moon shape. And then I'd like you to breathe into the right side of your body. In this shape, you'll feel that your ribs spread wide here. You feel like you're giving your lungs an opportunity to expand out to the side. All right, and then as you inhale, come back to center and reach those hands away from you again. Reach those heels away from you again. Get nice and long. Take another inhale. And then exhale, arc yourself over to your right side. You probably won't be able to go very far if you keep your shoulder blades and your pelvis on the mat. And that's okay. Keep your legs drawn in toward each other. Your toes are trying to point straight up. And then bring your awareness, your focus into the left side of your body, your left flank. And feel those ribs spreading wide. And feel how you can distribute your breath along the left side of your body. It's very freeing here. Good, all right, and now inhale, come back to center. Once again, reach those heels away from you, reach your fingertips away from you. Get very, very long. Draw your abdominals in, and then find that central channel of your body. Get as long as you can get. Take one big breath here. And then exhale, release and lower your arms down by your sides. Bring your right knee into your chest and move it over towards your right armpit. And really squeeze that knee in. So there's a little way of getting a back stretch, a low back stretch, and a hip flexion. And then release your leg down and take your left knee over to the left side. Rather than straight in, holding it there, move that knee over towards your armpit a little bit more. Hug that leg in as deeply as comfortable, and then release your leg down. So now, bend both knees and take your strap, if you have a strap. So, I'll show you. Pick up your right foot and take the strap around the arch of your right foot and lift your leg up high. If you don't have a strap, here's what we'll do. You'll keep your knee bent and grasp your big toe with your peace fingers. Your thumb will go onto your toenail, and then straighten your leg that way. So if you happen to have a pretty long leg, but maybe your arms aren't proportionately that long, you might find you can't bend, you can't straighten your leg all the way, but that's okay. That's part of the practice, is just work with where you are. So resist your foot up, using your strap or your hand to draw down. Straighten that right leg as best you can. And then skim your left heel along the floor to straighten your left leg down onto the floor. So we want to point the left toe straight up. Press the top of your left thigh down to the floor. Both legs are sharp and straight here. Now one more action, and that is to roll your outer right hip down in the direction of your left heel. Yeah, so try to keep your pelvis level. And getting a sense of this action will help us with some other poses that we'll do soon. All right, take an inhale. And then exhale, bring your knee into your chest. Release, put both feet on the floor. And then bring your left knee in and take the strap around your left foot and straighten your leg up. Or of course, if there is no strap, grasp your toe. In fact, even if you have a strap, if this variation, this version of the pose is good for you, if you feel like you can get your legs straight without using a strap, you might want to do this anyway. It's a little more challenging. So resist the foot up, and then slowly skim your right heel along the floor, straighten your right leg, and press the top of your right thigh down. We're trying to get the back of your right thigh as close to the floor as we can. Reach your right heel away from you, and then roll your outer left hip downward in the direction of your right heel. Both legs are sharp and straight. Breathe into the space that you create. All right, take one more breath. Inhale here. And then exhale, release, bring your knee into your chest. And then straighten your left leg out into the floor. So let's do a nice supine twist. Lift your right knee up and take your right foot to your left thigh. Cup your left hand over your right knee and take your right arm out onto the floor. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, bring or take that right knee over and across the body. So relax your bottom leg. The straight leg just gets to turn any way it needs to. The idea is to anchor your right shoulder blade down to the floor. And now that you're in your twist, focus on drawing your abdominals in. This is your stability. Your core will stabilize you, and also engaging your core will help to protect your low back against strain. You may decide to turn your head to gaze out over your arm. All right, inhale, bring your knee back up. Exhale, straighten that leg onto the floor and bring your other knee in. Give it a little hug. And then put your foot to your thigh, right hand to your knee, and stretch that left arm out. Inhale here. And then exhale, just take that left knee over. This is a really great pose. I think I've said this in the past too. You may have heard me say it. Doing this is so wonderful because the spine is on the floor. So our spines are nice and straight and long. So make sure you press your left shoulder blade into the floor. Draw your abdominals in and feel your core working here. And feel that beautiful space that you create along the spinal column. You may want to turn your head to the left, like to gaze out over that left arm. All right, and then bring it back up to center. And then bend both knees and put your feet flat on the mat. Let's prepare for bridge pose. It's called Setu Bandha. Align your ankles underneath your knees and pigeon toward your feet a little bit. And then today we have a certain version of the pose that I like to explore. So grasp your mat with your hands. You'll tuck your fingers under the mat, but have your thumbs on top of the mat. So you've got something to hold on to. So now, make sure you look straight up at the ceiling. You don't want to be turning your head in this pose. Lift your hips up off the floor, maybe an inch or two, just that much. And then squeeze your glutes. Now the next step is important. I want you to push your knees towards your toes. So you're just going to lean them away from you. And then lift up the rest of the way, and now your knees will come right over your ankles. Pull on your mat with your hands, and that will help you to tuck your shoulders under, broaden your collarbones away from each other. Now, if you want a little more action here, and this one is really strong, feel like you're trying to drag your heels towards your hips. You feel that? Like your glutes will really contract. In back bends, you want your glutes to contract, you want your legs to work strong, but you want your belly to be soft. Take an inhale again, and then exhale, lower down. You can readjust a little bit if you need to. And I'd like to do that again, exactly the same way. Practice makes perfect. So lift your hips up off the floor just a little and squeeze the glutes toward each other. Real important action. Next action is lean your knees forward toward your toes. Kind of even exaggerate that.
And then take an inhale, and then exhale, lift up, and now your knees will slide back to be right over your ankles. Pull with your hands, tuck your shoulders under, lift the bottom tip of your sternum up, make sure you do not turn your head here, and then see if you can try dragging your heels towards you. Feel how strong an action that is for the glutes. All right, one more breath, stay here. And then take another inhale, and then exhale, lower down. So relax a little bit, let your arms just come down by your sides, and then roll over onto one side and push your way up. And then let's come to all fours. You can always pad your knees with a blanket if you need to. Have your wrists right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hip sockets. And then lift your right leg back behind you. So this is a variation of bird dog. For today, I'd like you to point your toes back. Excuse me. I'd like you to point your toes back and reach your toes to the wall that's behind you. Now spread your fingers wide, post your arms by pressing your hands down, straighten your arms, lift your chest away from the floor. So we don't want to collapse down into the shoulders at all. Draw your abdominals in. Now the kicker is to roll that right hip downward a little bit so that you can square your pelvis to the mat. Get nice and long here. And then take your left arm forward, left bicep is by your left ear. Feel the connection between the reach of your left fingertips to your right toes. So let's make this a little more challenging, but throughout, make sure you lift your body away from the floor through that right arm. Lift that right leg up, lift your left arm up, and lift your gaze up. It's very tempting to roll the right hip open here when you do that, but don't do that. Roll your hip down and reach long, long, long. Can you stabilize here? Yeah, your core muscles are working really hard. Take another inhale, and then exhale, float that hand and the knee down. It really feels good. Other side. Take your left leg back, point your toes back for today. Post with your arms. Lift your chest away from your wrists. Draw your abdominals in, especially for this first part. Take your right arm forward. Level the pelvis. See if you can roll that left hip down a little bit. And before we go to the next stage, get your true length. Reach your fingertips forward. Reach your left toes back. Get very long. Feel like you're breathing down the central channel here. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift the leg, lift the arm, lift your gaze, but don't roll your left hip up, right? Reach, reach, reach. Hold maybe a little bit longer than you'd like to. Take another inhale. Exhale, and then lower down. Good. So let's go to a down dog. So starting with your wrists underneath your shoulders, move them a little bit further apart and then forward a whole handprint. Spread the fingers wide. Tuck your toes under, take an inhale. Exhale to downward facing dog. So look back at your feet and see that your feet are at least hip distance apart. If your low back is cranky or your legs are a little tight, you can pigeon toe your feet a little bit. Press back into your outer heels. Press back through your thighs. Draw your chin up and look up towards your own navel to lengthen through the back of your neck. Feel the length of your spine. Feel the length of your legs. Keep pressing your hands strongly into the mat and take that weight back into your hips, back into your legs, and out of the shoulders. All right, so now walk your feet up towards your hands and your hands back towards your feet. Let them meet in the middle of the mat. Take your hands up on your shins. Lift your tail and lift your chin up and broaden your collarbones and have a concave back here. And then walk your hands down your legs to the floor for a forward bend. This is Uttanasana. If your hands don't reach the floor, it's totally okay to just hold on to your legs. Some people like to use blocks too. Inhale, come halfway up again. Lift your tail, lift your chin, broaden your collarbones. Take another inhale. And then exhale, one more time, Uttanasana, forward bend. For those people who can forward bend very easily, you can move your hands to the sides of your feet, lower your head down. You could take your hands behind your legs and use that leverage to draw yourself down a little more. Everyone is different here. And then take your hands to your waist, squeeze your elbows back behind you, keeping your spine long and your legs straight. Inhale, slowly lift and rise. And come on up to standing. Let's come to Tadasana, today with the feet together. So they say that when you really hug the inner heels and the big toes in toward each other, this becomes a little bit of a balance pose because your base is small. Sometimes they call Tadasana Samastiti. And what that means is to come into balance, left side and right side. The focus is down the center channel. So press down through your heels, squeeze the fronts of your thighs, your quadriceps, press those back. Draw your abdominals in and lift the abdominals up. Lift up through your spine. Inhale, bring your arms straight up over your head. Now get even more height by lifting your shoulders up towards your ears. Reach the fingertips up higher, but be careful that you don't thrust your ribs out this way. So draw your low ribs in so that your abs are working. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower one arm down and take the upper arm up and over. So press into that outer heel there and feel the space that you create along the side channel of the body. Just take a moment to feel what's going on. You could look at the floor, you could look straight ahead, you could gaze up, whatever feels right. All right, inhale, bring both of your arms up, reach up a little bit higher. Inhale again, and then exhale, lower the other arm down and take that upper arm over and across. Feel that you're reaching your arm right out of your outer heel. And feel the space that you create along the side body. Allow the ribs to open. Allow the lungs to work a little more deeply. Inhale, bring your arms up over your head. And then exhale, lower your arms down. Now, double shoulder rolls. Let's get the shoulders to join the party too. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Pull your hands away from each other. Straighten your arms and then take your arms back behind you. So let's initiate a little back bend here. Take an inhale and then exhale. Pull your arms back and lift the bottom tip of your breastbone up and look up. It's harder to breathe here, but breathe here. Good. And then inhale, come back up tall. Release your hands back to Tadasana with your feet together. And then move up to the front edge of your mat. And Tadasana, again, will be with your feet touching each other. We'll do a variation of Surya Namaskar. First time through slowly, because we'll talk about the alignment of some of the poses, and then we'll pick up the pace. Inhale, arms up over your head. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Fingers could be on the floor or up on the shins. Exhale, step your right foot back. Lower your knee and the top of your foot to the mat. And have your hands on the floor at first with your fingertips on the mat. Straighten your arms and lift your chest. And so now we want to put our focus, our attention into the right hip socket, into the right quad. So roll onto the top of your right pinky toe so you can roll your right hip forward. And then sweep your arms forward and lift your arms up. So the idea is to lift your ribs away from your waist, but to sink your pelvis down toward the mat as you press the top of your right pinky toe down, so you really get a beautiful psoas stretch here. And now you can even add more intensity by leaning back for a bit of a back bend, but keep your pelvis squared. You may shift your gaze up if you'd like. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck your right toes under, lift the knee. Step back to down dog. Now for this down dog, bring your feet together. Legs squeeze in toward each other. Inhale, come forward to a plank, like a push-up. And then as you exhale, lower your knees, bend your elbows, and touch your chest and your chin to the mat. So some people call this caterpillar, the name of it is Ashtangasana. So pull your body forward, like as if you were going to roll a marble with your nose along the floor. You skim the floor, press the tops of your pinky toes down, squeeze your elbows back and come into a baby cobra pose. Lift the bottom tip of your sternum, squeeze your glutes, as with all back bends. Strong legs, active glutes, belly is soft. Take an inhale here. Exhale, come on up to a plank and on back to a down dog. Feet are together. Inhale, look forward to your right thumb. Exhale, step your right foot up to your right thumb. If you need help and you need to help that foot up, that's fine too. Lower your left knee and the top of your left foot. Anchor in the top of your left pinky toe down. Roll the front of your left thigh down. Pull your left hip forward. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and come on up. So again, you're going to lift the ribs upward. You're going to sink the pelvis down, all the while encouraging that left hip to come forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, invite a back bend here if it feels good. Stay for an extra breath or so. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck those left toes under. Step up for forward fold. Feet together. Inhale, flip your palms upward and then circle around, lift and rise. And then exhale your hands to your heart. All right, here we go. This time we'll continue leading with the breath. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, take your left foot back now. Top of toes to the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up for Anjaneyasana, with or without a back bend. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, touchdown, Ashtanga. Inhale, roll the marble with your nose. Come on up to cobra, just the baby one. Exhale, take yourself back to downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale, look at left thumb. Exhale, step left foot up. Lower right knee. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step up for forward fold. Feet together. Inhale, flip your palms up. Lift and rise. Come on up to standing. And then exhale your hands to your heart center. Okay, one more complete cycle here. Ready? Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, right foot back, lunge. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Ashtangasana. Inhale, cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, make your way back to down dog. Inhale, look at your right thumb. Exhale, take that right foot to your right thumb. Lower your left knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step up for forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise. Offer a back bend here. And then exhale your hands to your heart center. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, left foot back. Inhale. Exhale to dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Ashtangasana. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to dog. Inhale, look at left thumb. Exhale, step left foot up. Lower right knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Last one. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step up, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise. Last back bend here. And then exhale your hands to your heart center. Come to Tadasana with your feet now hip distance apart. Arms are down by your sides. Stand tall. Close your eyes for a few moments. So you give yourself the luxury to notice what you feel, to focus on what's going on, being very mindful throughout your whole practice, paying attention to the feedback that your body is giving you. Good, and then open your eyes. So this next one, if you have a strap, pick up your strap. And I'd like to do a standing balance pose. First, we'll do it twice. First time through, hold on to a wall or furniture, something. Second time through, balancing. So I'll show you here. I'm holding on to this cabinet here. So if you're using a strap, you pick up one foot, you put the strap around your arch, hold on to the strap close to your foot, and take your leg out to the front. If you don't have a strap, piece fingers around your big toe with your thumb onto the nail, and take your leg out here. So just like when we were on the floor, if you can't get your leg totally straight, that's okay. You're just going to do what you can do. So here are the actions. I want you to hold on the whole time here. You're going to, with your standing leg, really charge into your bottom heel and straighten your leg and press that standing thigh back. For your lifted leg, you're going to spear your heel forward, and the outer hip of that lifted leg, you're going to roll it down to keep your pelvis level. Take an inhale, exhale, and release. Okay, other side. Please do hold on to something. So you're using your strap or grasping your big toe. And then take that leg out, nice and long. Standing leg is charged up. Strong, that standing quad is pressing back. Press that upper heel, that lifted heel, forward to try to straighten your leg as best you can. And roll the hip of that lifted leg down toward the floor to stabilize the pelvis. Everything's working as a unit here. Take an inhale, exhale, and release. All right, so let's try the same pose again. Of course, you could still hold on to something if you want to, or perhaps you'd like to challenge yourself to just balance. So put your weight into one foot, bring the other knee up, and use your strap or grasp your big toe. Straighten your standing leg, charge it up, make sure you draw that outer hip in, and so you don't lean into it, and then take your leg out. You lift your arm up to help you balance, and let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1, and then down. Good, and then ease it out. Good, so if you're by something that you could hold on to, then if you did lose your balance, you have a safety net there. Okay, other leg. Charge into that standing leg. You want to draw that outer hip in, abdominals in, and then either use a strap or grasp your big toe. Make sure you're straightening your standing leg. And go ahead and straighten out that upper leg. Legs are straight and strong. You may add an arm. Roll that upper hip down to level your pelvis. Here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. How'd it go? Shake it up. Any job is a great job, right? Whatever you can do is wonderful. So put the strap aside if you have one. And then come to Tadasana. Your feet can be, well, let's continue with this with the feet in. Legs are squeezed in toward each other. This is a little bit of, like I said, like a balance pose. So stabilize here. Use your core. Take your arms out to the sides. Let's work on shoulders. We're going to work on eagle pose, Garudasana. Take your arms back and then cross this arm underneath the other arm. Crisscross your elbows. Now, first time, bend your elbows and just do this. Like look between your two hands. Resist your elbows toward each other. This is the action. So this is where we get the upper back to the shoulder blades to round around the back and draw your abs in. So this is the muscular action of the arms of this pose. All right, release, arms out, reach back. Now cross your other arm underneath, crisscross at the elbow joint. Hands go back to back, but let there be a space. Now, resist your elbows to each other. Spread your shoulder blades. Draw your abs in. Breathe. Take an inhale. Exhale and release. Legs are together. Now let's do chair pose. Utkatasana. Inhale, arms up over your head. Exhale, bend your knees, bring your hips back behind you. And really clamp those legs in toward each other. Bring your hips back. So see if you can get your biceps by your ears. So your arms are back a bit. If that's not possible, it's okay to have your hands to your heart center. So in this pose, roll the buttocks under, pull the ribs in, take your weight back into your heels even more if you can. Maybe you can sit a little bit deeper, but your chest should be lifted. This is a challenging pose to hold for very long. Take an inhale. Exhale, now forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, come halfway up. Lift your tail, lift your chin, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, forward bend again. And then as you inhale, let's pop back up into chair pose. So inhale up to a chair. Lift the ribs, lift the arms, sink the hips down, pull the low ribs in, roll the buttocks down. The legs are clamped into each other. See if you can pull your toe pads up off the floor. Weight yourself back into your heels. Then put your toes back down. All right, all done. Inhale, come on, up to standing. Get tall. And then exhale, lower your arms down. Notice how you feel. Your muscles are working really hard in that pose. I'm always amazed that we're hardly moving, yet it is a lot of work. Okay, next is your favorite pose, I'll bet you. Garudasana, eagle pose. Let's start with the arms. Tadasana, Samasthiti. Legs together. Anchor down in heels. Stand tall. Take your arms out to the sides. Cross this arm under the other. Bend at the elbows. Now this time, see if you can press the backs of your hands to each other. You're still resisting the elbows against each other. See if you can take your hands palm to palm. Or some variation, you can hold on to your fingers. If you want more of a shoulder stretch, lift your elbows upward and tip your fingertips forward a little bit. All right, so now take an inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Sit back into your chair pose and sit back as deeply as you can. And then cross this leg here over the top. Put your toes on the floor. Use your toes at first as a kickstand. And then cross at the knees and sit down and roll the thighs in toward each other. Just like in chair pose, you're going to scoop your belly in, pull your ribs in, broaden your shoulder blades here. Now come into balance, take your foot up off the floor if you can. If you can, you might want to tuck your foot behind your calf for binding, but square your shoulders forward. Try not to turn your body out. Can you hold it for 5, 4, lift your chest, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release. Shake it off. I love that pose. Arms out to the sides. Cross this arm here, under. Hands back to back. Resist, elbows. Hands palm to palm, or any variation thereof. It's even okay to keep your hands back to back in this pose. Inhale here. Exhale, bend knees, sit back, 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 back. The deeper you bend, the easier the crossing the leg part gets. So cross this leg here over the top. Put your toes on the floor first. Let's work on our form first, right? Shoulders square to the front. You're lifting your elbows, perhaps, pointing your fingertips forward, spreading your shoulder blades wide. And then you can take your foot up off the floor. Try to relax your standing foot too. Try not to curl your toes to grip the mat. They come into binding, if that's an option for you, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on up and unwrap yourself and shake it out. Notice what you feel. That is a very intense pose. So now let's find a little bit of lengthening and release. So now feet apart and bend your knees and sit back and see if you can get your torso folded over on your thighs. And then pick your toes up and slip your hands, your palms should be facing up. Slip your hands right underneath your feet. Toes are pressing into your inner wrists. Not everyone can get the hands all the way underneath the feet, but do the best you can. Like your toes are really pressing down into your wrists. And then allow your head to hang down. Find that extra length in the back of your neck. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly straighten your legs. Lift your tail. Now inhale, bend your knees again. Exhale to straighten your legs. Inhale to bend your knees. Exhale to straighten your legs. Let's stay here for another breath or two. Nice, natural, comfortable breathing. Noticing all the sensations that are available. All right, now pick up your toes, slip your hands out. Take your hands to your waist, squeeze your elbows back behind you. Keep your legs sharp and straight, spine long. Inhale, slowly lift your eyes. Come on up to standing. And back to Tadasana. All right, walk up to the front edge of your mat. Have your feet hip distance apart now. Inhale, arms up over your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Never, overlook the opportunity to get this beautiful opening through the spine. And then next time you exhale, hands to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. So remember, you're posting, right? You're getting this concept of hands pressed strongly, arms strong, arms straight, and reach your shoulders away from your hands. Now bring your feet together for down dog. Let's do a three-legged dog, but a certain way. Lift your right leg back behind you, point your toes straight back, level your pelvis. And then see if you can lower your head down, but lift your leg up, almost like you're a seesaw here. The amount that your leg lifts is the amount that your torso and head come down. The trick here is to level your pelvis and not to roll the right hip up open. And then that standing leg, your left heel is pressing back. All right, look forward to your right thumb. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee, swing that foot forward, and step your right foot next to your right thumb. Good. Left leg, lower your left heel down to the floor. We're headed toward our warrior one. So that means you got to turn your left toes forward about 20 degrees. Align your right heel to your left heel. Take your hands up on your right thigh and press into your back heel and turn your shoulders forward. Your hips may not be level to the front, but we are turning the shoulders. So this pose could be up a little bit higher if that's what you need. But we're always trying to make it a little deeper, right? So you're trying to get that right thigh parallel to the mat. Draw your abdominals in. Lift up through your central channel. Nice tall space. Inhale, sweep your arms forward. It's really easy to turn your body out to the side in this pose. So square your shoulders forward. And now in this pose, you may want to make it a little more intense, and you can lift up and lean back for a back bend. Keep spirit into your back heel. Sharpen and straighten your back leg. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift your left heel up off the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Look back at your toes. Lift your toe pads up off the floor. Bring your feet together. Sink back into your heels. All right, other leg now. Left leg straight back. Point your toes back. Almost feel like you're trying to pull the leg out and away from the hip socket so you get a little more space. And then as you lift your leg, lower your torso and your head. And as before, the challenge, the bigger challenge is to square your hips. Square your hips. Lift the toes, lower your head. Feel that conduit of energy. All right, look at your left thumb. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend that left knee and take that left foot next to your left thumb. Here we go. Lower your right heel down to the mat. Turn your right foot forward a little bit. Take your hands to your left thigh, bring your torso upright. So, sink the pelvis down. Lift the ribs up. Sharpen your back leg. Press into the outer edge of your right heel. A whole lot going on here. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Don't do the back bend yet. So just get your true height first. And get that right hip open and get that anchoring back into that back heel. Right thigh presses back. And then take an inhale. Exhale, you may lean back for back bend if you like. It's getting hot in here. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Pick your back heel up, step back to down dog. You got it. All right, step your feet forward, step your hands back. Walk to the middle of your mat. Hands to your waist, squeeze those elbows back. Inhale, slowly lift and rise. And come on up to standing. Good. Notice how you feel. Notice how your hips feel, your legs, your back. All right. Being near the front end of your mat again. Have your feet apart about the width of one fist. All right, couple inches there. And then step your left foot back about 2.5 feet. Maintain that width distance as you step your foot back. Your left foot will need to turn forward quite a bit. Pyramid pose, Utthita Parshvottanasana. I'm going to step back on my mat a little bit because we're also going to from here go to a warrior 3 pose. So you're going to need room in front of you. So square your hips forward, charge up your legs. Roll your shoulders back. So interlace your fingers behind your back and pull your, you know what, for today, let's do it this way. Hold on to your elbows or your forearms. Yeah. And then draw the forearms down and lift the sternum up and start with a back bend. And you'll find here the connection between the back bend and your left heel, right? As in all back bends, glutes squeeze in. Inhale, come on up tall. And then exhale, start to hinge forward, keeping both legs sharp and straight, keeping your pelvis level, and go ahead and fold over just to the inside of that front leg. So there is usually a tendency from most of us to take that right hip forward a little bit. So our job is to sharpen the right leg, draw the other right hip back in the direction of that back heel, and then fold over any amount that's appropriate for you. Breathe here, even though it's a little bit hard, and this turns out to be a balance pose, right? Especially because you're not using your arms. Inhale, come on up. And then take your arms out to the sides. Straighten your right leg, hop your left foot in. So now keep your legs perfectly straight. Let's go to warrior 3. Start off by picking your left foot up off the floor. For today, let's point the toes back rather than to bend the ankle. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, hinge forward a little. So the amount you lower your torso is the same amount you lift your back leg. You can have a neutral neck here. And if you want to challenge yourself more, lift your gaze upward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lower your left foot down and come out of the pose. Notice what you feel. Give yourself space to feel, to appreciate how hard your body works. All right, so let's do the other side. Stand with your feet about a fist distance apart. Now step your right foot back, about 2.5 feet. So taller people more, shorter people less. You'll just have to figure it out. Turn your right toes forward. Legs are short and straight. Pelvis is level. Grasp your forearms or your elbows. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears. Take an inhale. Exhale, lean back for this back bend. And again, keep your pelvis level. And notice that even here, it becomes a balanced pose. So the focus has to come in to the center channel here. Mind has to be quiet. Inhale, come back up tall. Exhale, hinge forward a little at first. Pause. Feel your way through the pose as you make your way all the way to your forward bend. So sometimes we get light in the back foot and heavy in the front foot, but we want the opposite. So press back into your back heel, press into the big toe of that front foot. Roll the outer left hip back towards your right heel and come on forward any amount that's possible. You're breathing here. All is good. Stay a little bit longer. You might find your body, your legs are twitching a little bit. Your muscles are twitching a little bit because they're working to find stability. All right, inhale, slowly lift and rise. Coming on out. And then take your arms out to the side. You bend your front knee a little bit as you hop your right foot up. So, warrior three with airplane arms. Square hips and shoulders to the front. Take an inhale. Exhale, pick up a little bit. So point your toes back forward this time. Today we're just having a nice straight leg with the toes pointing. Now keep your pelvis level and reach and reach. And level your pelvis. The amount you lift your leg is the amount you lower your torso. If you want to challenge yourself more, lift your gaze up and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then help yourself up. Excellent. Beautiful job. Well, all right, almost out of time here. So, stand in the middle of your mat, hands to your collarbones. Take an inhale. Exhale, step or hop your feet apart. Step them up. Point your fingertips down and line your ankles underneath your fingertips and float those arms down. Take this thigh out, turn your toes out, turn your back toes inward about 20 degrees. Align that front heel to the middle of your back arch. Turn your chest forward. Take your arms up over your head. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knee, come to warrior two pose. So we're going to not hold on to these poses for very long, but we do want the hips to open up. So now reach this arm here away from you as you glide your pelvis over your thigh bone, and then rest your forearm on your thigh and rotate your chest open. The way I like to think of it is I like to roll that buttock under to open the hip socket in the front. And then just take that other arm straight up. For today, just straight up. And then come on up with straight arms. Triangle pose. Inhale. Exhale. Nice hip tip. Do a couple of the little hip tips to get the hip socket loosened up even more. And then as you exhale, reach that arm, float it down, take it to the back of the calf, and take the other arm straight up. So rather than to use a block, I prefer that you not use a block here, and you just reach your two arms out to open the chest. And then inhale, come on up. And then exhale, float your arms down. Soften your knees, turn your toes forward. And then let's work on the other side. So this leg here, the thigh turns outward, toes out, hook your back foot in, turn your chest open. Take your arms up, inhale, exhale, bend your knee, come to warrior two. We're not staying long, we're just juicing up the hips. Take an inhale, exhale, reach that arm over, glide the pelvis over, rest your forearm on your thigh and rotate your chest open. Weight is going to anchor back into that back heel, right? Good. Take that right arm straight up. Nice space for the shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back up. Warrior two, and then straighten your leg. triangle pose. Take an inhale, exhale, a nice hip tip, reach, reach, reach. Float your hand down, take your other arm straight up. Allow that bottom hand to go to the back side of your calf. So you got maximum opportunity to rotate the chest open. Abdominals, core muscles have to be so firm here. This is your stability. Your abdominals and that back heel. All right, inhale, come on up. Exhale, lower your arms, soften your knees, turn your toes forward. Take an inhale, exhale, step or hop your feet in toward each other. Pause for a moment. Notice what you feel. All right, one more standing pose, and this one is a balance pose. If you have a strap, it might be a good idea to grab your strap. So this one, we'll start off holding on to something, but then we will let go. And this is hand to foot pose variation 2. So it's called Hasta Pada Kustasana 2. So holding on to something, if you can, you're going to stand on this foot here and put your strap around your other foot. And of course, if you don't have a strap, you're going to use your yogi toe hold again. And this time you turn your knee out. But before we stretch the leg out, you're going to straighten your standing leg. Lift up, pull the outer hip in, spread your toes wide so your foot is relaxed. And then take your leg out to the side. Your arm is straight, you're trying to get your leg straight. Your standing leg is strong, there's your stability. And then you can let go of your support and just reach here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it back in. And then ease it out. All right, to the other side. Standing on this leg, I suggest you hold on to something first. All right, put a strap around your other foot or hold on to your big toe. Draw that outer hip in. Allow that knee to go outward. Take your leg out, take your arm out. That arm will help you balance. Find a gazing point here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Come back to the front. Let everything go. Let's come to Tadasana. Breathing. And so step your feet wide. Align your heels to the back edge of your mat. Turn your toes straight ahead. Or even turn your toes inward a little bit. Let's pigeon toe your feet. Hands come to your hip creases. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge forward. And then lower your fingertips down to the floor. Of course, if you had blocks and you needed blocks, you could put your hands on blocks. But if you needed to bend your knees here to touch the floor, then that's what you would do. And then walk your hands back between your 2 feet here. If you can put your palms on the floor, do. And then lower your head down toward the mat any amount. Some people can actually put the crown of their head on the mat, other people don't, and it doesn't matter. You're just going to get this beautiful inversion, lowering the head, lower than the heart. This is a great opportunity for your spine to lengthen. But above all else, you're going to bring your focus into your breath. Have your hands shoulder distance apart and see if you can walk your hands so that you create a right angle shape with your forearms and upper arms. This is a very cooling pose, a very settling pose. A pose to help us find our focus. All right, and then slowly lift your head and walk your hands forward and be up on your fingertips so your fingertips are underneath your shoulders. And then bring your feet a little closer and toward each other. Hands to your waist. Squeeze your elbows back. Inhale, slowly lift and rise. And come on up to standing. And then slowly work your feet in toward each other. Beautiful. Let's come on down to the floor. And come on down to your back side with your knees bent. Take your feet wide apart so your feet are almost as wide apart as the width of your mat. And allow your arms to come out to your sides like a T shape. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, take your knees all the way over to your right. Keep your shoulder blades on the floor and just lean those knees down, especially your left knee. Try to lean it down. And then inhale, bring your knees back up to center. And then exhale, knees go all the way over to your left side. Windshield wiper knees. Inhale back to center. Let's do that one more time. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back up center. Exhale over to the left. And then back to center. And then work your feet together. And then take your legs straight up toward the ceiling. So this is Supta Dandasana, supine staff pose. Squeeze your legs in toward each other, bend your ankles, push your heels up. Take your arms back behind your head. Feel that central channel of energy, both legs together, arms together, feeling the energy up and down through your torso. All right, take an inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, draw your knees into your chest, and put your hands on your knees. Push your knees so that your kneecaps are over your hips, and then do gentle circles around the outer rim of your pelvis. You have pressure points there, so you can hit these pressure points, and then pause and go around the other way. All right, and back to center, and then take your legs out onto the floor. If you have any tenderness in your low back, you may prefer to bend your knees like this and to tent your knees in toward each other. This is good, and also classic style of Shavasana is good too. If your legs are stretched out long, allow your thighs to roll open and your feet to tip apart, your palms to face upward. So in the interest of time, I wish we had longer here. You could stay in this Shavasana if you like longer, or take your hands onto your torso. Bless this body for how it serves you as it carries you throughout your life and as it houses your spirit. Bless this body to keep you healthy, and bless this body to protect it from injury and any other harmful thing. Bless this body. And then if you're ready to come on up, bend your knees, roll over onto one side. Pause for one moment here in fetal pose. And then turn your head to look down at the floor. Use your hands to slowly push your way up. And come to any seated position that you'd like. And then bring your hands together at your heart center. I'm so glad you're here to practice today. I'm so grateful that we have found this path of yoga. So the divine in me salutes the divine in you. Namaste. Be well.